Good morning. I hope y'all doing great this morning. So I'm going to start sharing with y'all some out of the Life Recovery Bible that I had a guest. Awesome gift was given to me by one of the guests. John Coleman, if you're out there and you see this, thank you so very much. So this Recovery Bible is awesome. It's got all kinds of things in here that's just connected and gives you so many different perspectives and understanding, and it's just awesome. It's deep. So the first step that we're going to do out of the 12 steps is the Paradox of Powerlessness. So we admitted that we were powerless over our problems and that our lives had become unmanageable. So for me, the very first thing that I did, and didn't even know the 12 steps, was to admit that I couldn't do it anymore by myself. And then, so we may be afraid to admit that we're powerless and that our lives become unmanageable. If we admit that we're powerless, won't we be tempted to give up completely in that struggle against our addictions? It doesn't seem to make sense that we can admit powerlessness and still find the power to go on. This paradox will be dealt with as we go on to steps 2 and 3. Today we're just going to cover step 1. Life is full of paradoxes. The Apostle Paul tells us, we now have this light shining in our hearts, but we ourselves are like fragile clay jars containing this great treasure. This makes it clear that our great power is from God, not from ourselves. We are pressed on every side by troubles, but we are not crushed. We are perplexed, but not driven to despair. And that's in 2 Corinthians 4, 7 through 8. So this picture contrasts a precious treasure and the simple container in which the treasure is stored. The living power poured into our lives from above is the treasure. Our human bodies, with all our flaws and weaknesses, are the perishable containers. As human beings, we are imperfect. That's just the way it is. Once we recognize the paradox of powerlessness, we can be quite relieved. We do not have to always be strong and pretend to be perfect. We can live a real life with its daily struggles in a human body, beset with weakness, and still find the power from above to keep going on without being crushed and broken. Have you ever gone through anything in your life? And if you say you haven't, and I could see you, I would thump you. Have you ever gone through anything in your life, something in your life that has actually made you feel like you were completely crushed and broken? I have gone through it several times, and I'm sure you have. You know, us as humans, we do go through things that challenge us, and without those things that challenge us, sometimes in the boldest and most difficult way, we wouldn't have any opportunity to become stronger than what we are and have any opportunity to grow so that we'll be able to take on things that other situations and circumstances that may come our way. So if you think about it, like the times that you thought that you were completely crushed and broken and you just wasn't going to be able to get past that, you actually wasn't broken. You wasn't torn. You just felt like you were. And sometimes our heart needs to be stretched just like our mind does. You know, our mind and soul and heart and being, our existence needs to be stretched so that we can become who we're meant to be. So if you go through things and you go through bad relationships and failed relationships and just self-doubt and shame and guilt and all those type things like that, you have to have room in there for love. And sometimes we get stretched, our heart gets stretched out because it's making room for the love that God has for us coming up soon. So filter out, your mind, filter out your life of the negative things. And in order for you to do that, the first thing that we have to do is to realize that we have no control over situations and circumstances and things that happen to us from life. And so whenever it comes to life-controlling issues and things take over our lives and we continue to live going down that negative road, then it's become a life-controlling issue and we may need help. In order for you to get at a place to where you can get help, you have to take the first step, and that's admitting that you're powerless. So for me, when I was living in heavy active addiction. I did for a long time. I mean, a long time. But I was stubborn. I'll try to do things on my own, try to make it happen my way, and it just didn't work. I didn't have the ability to make it. I was able to make the decision and choice to take my feet and put my efforts toward something different. But without God giving me the things that I needed and showing me the way to go, I probably myself would have went back in a circle, back through the chaos that I had just came out of. It just would have looked different to me. So, for me, when I was powerless, and I finally understood that I had no control over it, there was something inside my brain behind that choice that I made, that even if it was just a tiniest spark of electricity or energy, behind my thought was a power greater than me. And that is the power that I had to understand wasn't mine. So that's where I am with that. And then step 2 on the next video is going to be, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. So that's what we'll be stepping into next time. So I'm excited. I like this. You have a great day.